Have you ever felt that the very story of your existence is shrouded in mystery, a tale written not in ink, but in the silent language of the cosmos? Imagine a reality where your birth was never a beginning and your death a mere illusion. Today, we invite you to step into a realm of ancient wisdom and profound insight, where the boundaries of time dissolve and the essence of who you are is revealed as timeless, unbounded, and eternal. In this journey, we will challenge the narratives that have defined you, your memories, your identity, and the very notion of individuality. What if everything you believed about your existence was a carefully crafted myth, a mirage that obscures the radiant truth of your being? Through the lens of esoteric teachings and the wisdom of mystics past, we will explore the paradoxical idea that you were never truly born and you will never truly die. This isn't a mere philosophical puzzle. It is an invitation to awaken to the infinite awareness that lies at the core of your existence. Over the course of this video, we will unravel the layers of illusion that have kept you confined within the limitations of a finite self. We will delve into the mysteries of ancient texts, echoing the voices of sages who understood that life and death are but transient episodes on the vast canvas of eternity. With evocative metaphors and thought-provoking analogies, we will guide you to perceive life not as a linear progression, but as an endless dance of energy and consciousness. Prepare to question, to explore, and ultimately, to awaken to the liberating truth that the boundaries of birth and death are constructs, mere veils that obscure the infinite ocean of awareness in which you truly reside. Stay with us as we embark on this transformative journey together. The eternal witness beyond birth and death. To understand the notion that you were never born and will never die, we must journey into the depths of human wisdom, into the ancient teachings that have questioned the very fabric of our existence for millennia. In the dusty scrolls of Eastern mysticism and the silent echoes of Western philosophy, we find the seeds of an idea that transcends time, the eternal, unchanging awareness that underlies all of creation. In the ancient Vedic traditions of India, the concept of Atman was revealed as the indwelling spark of the divine, unchanged by the cycles of birth and death. The Upanishads, those timeless texts of inner knowledge, speak of a self that is not limited by the physical, that is not born in the way a flower blooms, nor does it wither away in the autumn of life. This eternal essence, often identified with Brahman, the infinite, all-encompassing reality, is the same that illuminates every living being, silently witnessing the play of life. Traveling westward, we encounter the whispers of Greek philosophy, where mystics and philosophers such as Plato and Pythagoras explored the nature of the soul and the cosmos. Plato's allegory of the cave, for instance, invites us to question the shadows of our perceptions, suggesting that the truth of our existence lies beyond the mere physical manifestations of life. The idea of an immortal soul, untouched by the vicissitudes of earthly change, finds echoes in these ancient musings, hinting at a reality far greater than the transient form of our bodies. Similarly, the mystical traditions of Buddhism bring us face to face with the impermanent nature of existence. In the teachings of the Buddha, the self is revealed to be a transient assembly of moments, fleeting and ever-changing. Yet, amidst this constant flux, there lies the potential to awaken to a state of pure awareness, a state where the illusion of a fixed, separate self dissolves into the vast expanse of what simply is. Zen masters would later articulate this understanding through the metaphor of the mirror, reflecting each moment with clarity, yet remaining untouched by the images it holds. Even within the depths of Sufism, the mystical branch of Islam, the seeker's journey is one of returning to the primordial state of oneness with the divine. The Sufi poet Rumi, through his verses, urges us to look beyond the boundaries of our ego and reconnect with the eternal. He teaches that our perceived separateness is but a veil, obscuring the radiant truth that we are, in essence, part of the infinite tapestry of existence. These varied traditions, though diverse in their expressions, converge on a singular truth, that the self is not a finite construct, but an ever-present witness, a timeless awareness that has neither beginning nor end. They challenge us to look beyond the ephemeral dramas of our lives and to recognize the profound continuity of our true nature. In the words of the ancient mystics, the birth and death of the individual are merely the turning of pages in a cosmic saga, a saga where the underlying essence remains untouched, undiminished, and infinitely free. By exploring these historical and philosophical insights, we begin to see that the notion of being unborn and undying is not a paradox to be resolved, but a doorway to understanding our deepest, most liberating reality. This rich tapestry of wisdom invites us to dissolve the boundaries of our conventional identities and to awaken to the eternal presence that underlies all of life. The illusion of birth and death, awakening to the eternal self. Let us now peel back the layers of our perceived existence and examine the core truth. You were never truly born, and you will never truly die. At first glance, this assertion may seem to defy common sense. After all, our lives are marked by the milestones of birth, growth, and eventual death. Yet when we look deeper, beyond the ephemeral markers of our physical form, we discover a reality that is as timeless as the stars themselves. Imagine for a moment that you are a vast, boundless ocean. The waves that crash upon the shore, the thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations are transient expressions of that ocean's energy. They rise, shimmer in the sunlight, and then recede back into the depths from which they emerged. In this metaphor, the ocean represents your true self, an unchanging presence that remains intact regardless of the fleeting disturbances on its surface. The notion of being born is simply the emergence of these waves, and the concept of dying is merely their temporary dissolution. The ocean, however, endures eternally, a silent witness to the endless dance of creation and dissolution. In our everyday lives, we cling to the identity of the individual, our names, our roles, our personal histories. We celebrate birthdays and mourn funerals as if these events define our entire existence. Yet consider the possibility that these milestones are like ripples on the surface of a still pond. They are visible, perceptible, yet they do not alter the fundamental nature of the water beneath. This water is your unchanging awareness, your inner essence that remains constant even as the ripples come and go. Central to this understanding is the realization that the self, as we commonly conceive it, is a collection of transient elements. Our bodies are in a constant state of flux, cells regenerate, and our physical form continuously evolves. Likewise, our thoughts and emotions are ephemeral, arising and fading like clouds in a vast sky. To identify solely with these ever-changing phenomena is to mistake the temporary for the eternal. When we recognize that the self is not limited to these transient states, we begin to see that the story of birth and death is not about an individual emerging or vanishing, but rather about the constant, unbroken flow of awareness in which these events unfold. Consider the ancient allegory of the phoenix, a bird that is reborn from its own ashes. This myth, found in many cultures, symbolizes the eternal cycle of transformation. However, the phoenix is not the true self. It is a manifestation, a temporary form that rises and falls. The true essence, the spark of life that ignites the phoenix's rebirth, remains untouched by the cycles of destruction and renewal. In this light, our existence mirrors that of the phoenix. Our perceived selves are temporary expressions of a deeper, unchanging awareness. Another useful metaphor is that of a stage and its actors. The individual persona, with its memories, fears, and ambitions, is like an actor stepping onto a stage. The play has a beginning and an end, and the actor takes on a role that is as vivid as it is ephemeral. Yet behind the stage, the theatre itself remains unchanged. This theatre is the infinite awareness, the backdrop of existence that is constant and eternal. It is the stage upon which every scene of your life is played out, yet it is never altered by the transient dramas that unfold upon it. As we explore these analogies, it becomes clear that the essence of who you are transcends the conventional narratives of birth and death. You are not the sum of your experiences or the transient form of your body. Instead, you are the eternal awareness, the infinite ocean in which every wave is but a momentary expression. Recognizing this truth is not an abstract intellectual exercise. It is a profound inner shift that can transform your experience of life. In the next section, we will delve even deeper, uncovering further nuances and subtleties of this timeless perspective and exploring how this realization can reshape your understanding of reality itself. Beyond the illusion, awakening to the eternal self. As we continue our journey into the profound depths of our true nature, let us explore the subtleties that further illuminate this timeless truth. Beyond the surface of everyday existence lies a realm where the concepts of birth and death dissolve into the eternal now. It is here that the illusion of separateness begins to unravel, revealing that the self is not confined to the transient events of physical life. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast desert at twilight. The shifting sands molded by the wind seem to tell stories of change, each grain a symbol of fleeting moments. Yet as you gaze upon the endless expanse, you notice that the desert itself is immutable. It endures long after the individual sand dunes have been reshaped or dispersed by the breeze. This enduring quality is akin to the awareness that underlies all our experiences. While our identities and physical forms are in constant flux, the ground upon which these changes occur remains steadfast and eternal. Consider also the analogy of a river. The water that flows over the rocks, the ripples that shimmer in the sunlight, are in a constant state of transformation. No two moments are the same. The water that was here yesterday is not here today, yet the river itself with its continuous current persists unaltered by these variations. In the same way, the stream of life is ever-changing, but the source from which it flows remains constant. When we perceive ourselves as nothing more than these fleeting ripples, we miss the reality of the eternal flow of awareness, the unchanging current that carries us through every moment. This deeper understanding challenges the very foundation of how we identify with our lives. When you look into the mirror of your mind, you may see a series of roles, memories, and emotions playing out like scenes in a grand theatre. But what if you could step back and see the theatre itself, the space in which every drama unfolds? In this expansive space, the characters come and go, yet the stage remains untouched by the transient performance. Here lies the mystery. The self that you have so diligently constructed is merely a projection of temporary phenomena. Behind it all, there is a profound stillness, a silent witness that is not bound by the narrative of birth or death. Delving even deeper, let us consider the interplay of light and shadow. In every luminous moment, there is a corresponding shadow, a counterpart that seems to define itself by its contrast with light. But what happens when the light is so brilliant that it dissolves the shadow entirely? In that luminous state, the distinctions between light and darkness vanish, leaving only an all-encompassing radiance. This radiance represents your true nature, a state of being that is so all-inclusive, so infinite, that it transcends the dualities of existence. Birth and death are but shadows cast on the canvas of life, rendered insignificant in the light of this ultimate truth. Furthermore, the metaphor of a dream provides another perspective. In a dream, you experience a world that feels real, with a beginning and an end. Yet upon waking, you realize that the entire narrative was a transient illusion. The vivid details of the dream fade away, leaving behind the quiet clarity of the present moment. Similarly, the story of your individual existence, with its ceremonies of birth and death, is a dreamlike projection of the mind, a story that seems real until you awaken to the realization that you are the awareness within which the dream occurs. By contemplating these metaphors, the unchanging desert, the ever-flowing river, the stage that transcends its actors, the interplay of light and shadow, and the ephemeral dream, we begin to see that the self is not a confined entity with a clear beginning and end. Instead, it is an ever-present awareness, a boundless field that remains untouched by the ephemeral dramas of life. In recognizing this, you are invited to release the grip of identification with the temporary and to embrace the infinite nature of your true self. This understanding is not merely a philosophical notion, it is a transformative realization that, when deeply felt, reshapes the way you experience life. As you witness the interplay of change and permanence, you begin to live with a newfound freedom, a freedom rooted in the knowledge that your essence is eternal, beyond the transient markers of birth and death. Living the eternal truth, integrating awareness into everyday life. Now that we have journeyed through the conceptual and philosophical dimensions of an existence beyond birth and death, it's time to ground this wisdom in everyday practice. The understanding that you are eternal awareness is not merely an abstract idea. It is a living truth that can transform your daily experience, freeing you from the constant churn of thoughts, fears, and limitations. 1. Daily mindfulness. Meditation. Begin each day by setting aside just 10 to 15 minutes for mindfulness meditation. Sit comfortably in a quiet space and focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of air as it enters and leaves your body. As thoughts arise like ripples on the surface of a serene lake, simply acknowledge them without judgment and gently return your attention to your breath. This practice creates a space between you and your thoughts, allowing you to witness the constant flow of experiences without becoming entangled in them. 2. Self-inquiry techniques. Throughout your day, engage in the practice of self-inquiry. Ask yourself the profound question, who am I? Instead of accepting the immediate answers that come from your mind, I am a parent, a friend, an employee. Dive deeper. Question the source of these identities. Recognize that these labels are simply roles played on the stage of your existence, and that behind every thought or emotion lies the unchanging awareness that observes them. Journaling your reflections after these inquiries can help solidify your understanding and reveal recurring patterns that may bind you to a limited sense of self. 3. Cultivating a pause. When you find yourself overwhelmed by the emotions of the day, anger, sadness, or anxiety, practice the art of pausing. Take a deep, conscious breath and observe the feeling as it arises in your body. Visualize it as a cloud passing through a vast, clear sky. Remind yourself that these feelings, like the cloud, are transient. The sky, the awareness within you, remains untouched and infinite. Over time, this simple act of pausing can diminish the grip of reactive emotions, allowing you to respond rather than react. 4. Embodying the Observer. Practice distancing yourself from the constant narrative of the mind by identifying with the observer, not the observed. When engaged in daily activities, gently remind yourself that you are not your thoughts or emotions, but the awareness in which they appear. Whether you are eating, walking, or conversing, take a moment to sense the underlying stillness that witnesses every action. This will help you experience life with greater clarity and freedom, unburdened by the transient roles of the ego. 5. Reflective visualization. In the quiet moments of dusk or dawn, visualize yourself as a vast, infinite ocean. See the waves of experiences, joy, sorrow, success and failure, rising and falling on your surface, yet recognize that the ocean, your true self, remains calm and boundless beneath. This visualization reinforces the understanding that while the phenomena of life come and go, your essence is eternal and unchanging. Each of these practices offers a pathway to dissolve the illusion of a limited self, guiding you toward the liberating recognition of your timeless nature. Overcoming the common challenge of skepticism or habitual distraction requires persistence and gentle compassion towards yourself. Remember, transformation is not an overnight process. It is the gradual unfolding of ancient truths within your modern experience. Embrace these techniques with an open heart and a spirit of curiosity. In doing so, you will not only cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and freedom, but also witness the subtle yet profound ways in which life begins to flow more naturally, like a river in harmony with its eternal source. The eternal journey, embracing your timeless nature. As we draw our journey to a close, let us revisit the profound insights we have uncovered together. Today, we questioned the very foundations of our existence, challenging the conventional narratives of birth and death. We learned that what we perceive as our identity, the stories, memories, and roles we cling to, is but a transient expression of an eternal, unchanging awareness. Like the vast ocean in which every wave rises and falls, our true essence remains untouched, serene, and infinite. We embarked on a historical and philosophical exploration, tracing the wisdom of ancient sages, mystics, and philosophers who taught that the self is not a finite entity, but a timeless witness to all phenomena. Whether through the vivid imagery of the phoenix or the subtle dance of light and shadow, we discovered that the cyclical patterns of life are mere veils, concealing the deeper reality of our boundless nature. Through practical techniques, mindfulness, self-inquiry, and reflective visualization, we were offered tangible ways to awaken to this eternal presence. These practices are not just methods for quieting the mind, they are gateways to a transformative experience where the illusion of separation dissolves, revealing a life that flows with effortless grace and profound clarity. Now I invite you to carry this awareness into your everyday life. Reflect on the notion that you were never truly born, nor will you ever truly die. Embrace the freedom that comes with understanding that you are not confined by the fleeting constructs of identity, but are instead the vast, unchanging consciousness in which all experiences arise and pass away. Step forward with a renewed sense of wonder and possibility. Let the timeless truths you have encountered today serve as a beacon, guiding you toward a life of deeper connection, serenity, and joy. Remember, the journey to awakening is ongoing, and every moment holds the potential for profound transformation. Thank you for embarking on this mystical exploration with us. Until our next journey, remain curious, stay open, and trust the eternal light that resides within you.